All right, well, getting into the housing market can sometimes feel impossible, but our next guests are making it look easy.
They make it easy. Easy. Jack and Harry are two brothers in their early 20s. And between the two of them, they've racked up a pretty impressive $2.4 million property portfolio. Jack and Harry Gray join us now to reveal the secrets to success. Check them out, everyone. Big round of applause for these two budding moguls. How are you guys?
Not too bad.
Tell us how you started out, because I think a lot of people out there look at interest rates and go, I'm never going to be able to do it. How did you do it?
Well, we started off with making a plan, writing down our goals.
Yeah, and then, so pretty much you got to save the money, save the deposit, and then, yeah, we sorted out some professional advice because we didn't know what we're doing. And we spoke to friends and family and got their advice. And then I actually went to a property planner, Propel Property, and he really simplified the whole process and made it really easy. And then he went out, found the contract, and then, yeah, that's how it all started back in 2021.
A couple of smart blokes on the couch with this, aren't they, Carl? I mean,
Not only handsome.
it's not easy to even just, you know, sort of navigate through all the red tape, all the paperwork that you've got to get through just to make this even happen.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing about getting professional help. They do all that. It's like a one-stop shop. He does everything. He makes all the calls, and especially when I was building through COVID, there was lots of delays. So he actually he helped me get through that process. Like, I could call him at 7 o'clock at night and it was fine. So he's really helped me out a lot.
I mean, look, there's some dramas in the sector at the moment, interest rates, as we know. Was that something you worried about, something you factored in, or did you know because you were going to be renting at least one of the properties out that you're going to be okay?
Well, the first one that I built, it hasn't been too bad. Like, I was on variable, so interest rates have gone up. But on the second one, we had a lot of trouble because we were planning to build a duplex. And because of all the interest rate rises, the banks didn't want to lend us the money. But then Michael came and helped us, and we just built a single house instead. So it's not easy, but yeah, he helped us out, and yeah, it was good.
What about working with family? What's that like? Because it can be risky getting involved in a business together.
It wasn't too bad. We've known each other. I've known him all my life. We've had pretty good.
You can't trust anyone. You can't trust anyone more than family.
Yeah.
So, and we're pretty much the same person. Like, we have the same job, pretty much, different companies, but same job.
Yeah.
Have the same friends. There's no one I trust more in the world.
All right, how old are you guys?
22.
22.
I'm 23.
Wow.
Baby.
And you're on the run. You're on the run. Did you ever think that you would ever be on national TV talking about this?
No.
And here you are.
You're absolute naturals. It's great. I think a great thing to aspire to, and for young people out there to see your story. It's really good.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Thank you.
Go to the pub now, all right? Or back to work.
Thanks for coming.
Well, breaking news.
Well, what do you do when you can't move house? You renovate. New research shows more and more Aussies are choosing to do up their homes this spring rather than sell. Aussie Home Loans Chief Operating Officer Sebastian Watkins joins us now with more. Sebastian, thanks for your time this morning. Now, how many homeowners are opting for this option?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. Well, what we typically see is you've got first home buyers, then you've got upgraders and downgraders. What we're seeing is, of the people that would typically be going up in their property buying journey, about half, 54%, said that they're going to renovate instead, which is huge.
I mean, the problem we're seeing is obviously high interest rates are driving people towards renovations rather than purchasing.
Yep.
But the cost of renovation is actually quite high too, even just finding materials and trades to begin with.
Yeah, it is, and that's a symptom of, obviously, the pandemic. But if you look at sort of agent fees, stamp duty, 6% interest rate, and you put that all into a bucket, you can start to see how renovation becomes a little bit more financially viable and a lot less daunting than getting back into the market. So.
Yeah, because we're talking about sort of every 100,000 you've got 6,000. That really accumulates quickly, doesn't it?
Absolutely. You know, if you're upgrading, you're not upgrading for an extra 100,000, 200, 300, 400,000. There's another $24,000 a year just in interest. So.
If we see rates hold firm today, which is tipped widely by economists, do you think that will have an impact on renovation? Will people be more likely to perhaps try to move out and buy something else, or will we stick to renovations?
Look, I think we're going to, my view, and if you speak to the consumers that we've spoken to, they're going to stick to this path for the moment. I think we won't see much change until we start to see rates go the other way. So I suspect we'll see much of the same for the immediate future. and then we'll be looking to the end of the year to see, as those fixed rates roll off, what's sort of happening then.
All right, what are your tips, I guess, for those who are trying to save to renovate? Because as we said, it isn't cheap.
Yeah,
It's
no.
the best way to go about it.
So here's the thing, right? You got to, my view, book in 30, even if you're thinking about it, book in 30 minutes with a broker from a trusted brand. What a lot of people don't understand is that banks will value your property differently. There isn't a universal valuation of your property. So if you're trying to renovate, what you want to do is maximise your equity. So speak to a broker. They'll help you find the right balance between a good rate and a good valuation to get you the best outcome.
Okay, and then spend the money on the new kitchen.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, cool. Thanks so much for coming in, Sebastian.
Thanks for having
Appreciate
me.
it.
Thanks.
Carl. Well, tens of thousands of workers could soon have $1 billion added to wages under Labor's industrial relations reform.
It's some pay rise. It's good news for Uber drivers, but not so much for businesses. Some claiming it's the most radical change to the system in decades. To discuss, we're joined by Nine Finance editor Chris Kohler. Chris, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Big numbers being thrown around and a pretty confusing legislation. What does it mean for workers at the end of the day?
Well, the federal government says there's about 67,000 workers for whom this would be a game changer, because right now, if you're a gig economy worker or a labour hire worker, you have a separate set of rules, whereas this would say that you have to be paid and treated under the same laws as the enterprise bargaining agreement that is for everybody else. So basically, any business with more than 15 employees would have to have this come in. And so 67,000 workers are loving it. A lot of businesses not loving it, though.
I mean, if businesses are doing the right thing, they have no reason to disapprove of this, right?
Yes, but they're saying that it takes away flexibility. It adds a whole lot of administration to them. I mean, if you've got 15 employees, you're still a small business, and this is a lot of extra onus on that. And Jennifer Westcott from the Business Council of Australia is saying that basically what it does is it takes pay decisions away from the business and puts them into Fair Work, which maybe is a little bit stretched and not full of elected officials either.
It also adds to costs.
Absolutely,
at the end of the day. And costs they're probably going to have to pass on, right?
Yes, they are saying that prices are going to have to go up, particularly, I mean, you mentioned Uber deliveries, things like that. They are saying that this would have to push up those prices. The other thing is that these wouldn't even come in until the end of 2024, so there's a bit of time.
You love the smell of a rates day.
Oh.
And you're up at 4 in the morning.
I'm hooning up to Sydney every time. Let me get into it. No, that's right.
Hold today?
It seems like not only a hold today, but probably no more rate hikes at all. I mean, we're talking about the major economists in Australia now saying 12 months of on hold and then cuts because, you know, we've got to try to avoid this recession.
Yeah, that would be welcome news. So just get used to it for now and then potentially have a bit of a drop-off.
Yes, that's right. So no more interest. 4.1% is likely to be where it stays for a very long time, and then maybe a cut come first half of next year.
So Philip Lowe's last meeting as boss, he kind of, at the end of the day, did his job.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you'd have to say if we miss
The irony of it.
After being mercilessly bad.
He was bashed a bit there. Look, he's going to leave with 3. He was in charge for 7 years. He's going to leave with 3, maybe 4 very interesting records. The first one, he left it on hold for longer than anyone else has in history. Then he cut it to the lowest rate anyone has ever done in history. And then he hiked more aggressively than anyone else. So he's been memorable. Of course, he'll probably go down in history for saying that rates wouldn't rise. And then they rose pretty quickly.
There'll be a lot of hate out there in some sectors for that decision.
But if he misses that recession, or if we miss that recession, you know, another big tick.
Yeah, good on you, mate. Good
Thank
luck
you,
today.
Chris.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Just loosen up the shoulders.
Oh, yeah.
Getting some breaks.
Thank you, mate.
Thanks, Chris.